Hi there. In a world where nothing is certain, that means anything is possible, right? If you want to fulfill your dreams and desires, you are in the right place. You absolutely can have a life of happiness. Everyone deserves an abundance of love, laughter, success, health, and wealth. I'm Tara Chadzakis, and you're listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. The show that brings you meditation, mindset, and motivation. So start by giving yourself permission to be awesome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi, I have John Vuong with me today, and John is the owner of Local SEO, and he's based in Toronto, Canada. So John, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tara. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to share some insights for all the audience members in the UK today.
Yeah, that's great. I'm so pleased that you came to join me here.
Had a chance to take a look at your podcast, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun because for me, just the name itself, right? Just being happy. I mean, that's me right there.
That's the whole point. Yeah, happy, inspired, motivated. Everything that people should be every single day. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
And as you know, it's like big city like New York and London, England. It's kind of on lockdown still. Like we're back to stage 2, which is all the restaurants, all the gyms are closed.
Yeah, the same here actually.
So it's spiking. Yeah, I used to, my brother actually lived in England for 10 years. So I visited him a couple times. And then I lived in Lancaster, so Lake District.
Didn't you go to university there?
Yeah, so I did 1 year on exchange program.
Okay.
During my university, and great experience, great people, great culture. So I really enjoyed it. It's just different, right? Because everyone connects like at the pub, right? And it's like, that's the social thing.
Yeah.
Which now it must be very difficult for you guys because what can you guys do now?
The pub is quite a focal point in any village or anything like that. So that's just been completely taken away, hasn't it? So it is quite difficult. And I mean, I don't go to the pub like regularly, like every week, for example, but I have been since they've been reopened, and the atmosphere is just really weird. It's not good.
Yeah, it's
the whole
hard.
point is being there is to meet people and talk to them.
Socialize, yes.
Yeah, and new people. I mean, and you just can't do that now, so it's really sad.
It's hard, right? Because user behavior has changed. Everyone's scared. They're not sure how, if that person has the virus or what's going on in their lives. So it's everyone's like just uncertain.
Yeah, they are. They are a little bit frightened of each other, aren't they? And that's really sad, actually. It is sad. And when you smile at somebody with a mask on, they don't know you're smiling, do they? So they just look at you and walk past. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, John.
So my name's John Vuong. I started an agency, digital agency called Local SEO Search back in 2013. And we are located in Canada, but we service clients all over the world. The main focus is really to help the small, medium-sized business owners. Usually these are the service type industries that have been challenged the most during this pandemic, but they are the ones that don't really have an IT department or marketing department or people that actually focus on what we do in terms of trying to generate more visibility for them digitally. So what we do is we align with these business owners and offer more of an extension to their business and help them throughout the entire process of helping them become more visible on search.
So basically you let them get on with their business in the background and you do the other stuff for them, don't you?
Exactly, which is positioning themselves as leaders in their industries and market, but more so from the landscape of Google search, because more and more people are doing research online today. So you just want to be present and being visible when someone's searching or seeking out a service or product that you offer.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so you actually didn't start out in the digital industry, did you? So tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so out of school, I finished my college university in business finance.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of co-op jobs, but I didn't really enjoy sitting at the desk, crunching numbers, reconciling statements all day long.
I think
So
that would be,
my
oh, that would be so boring for me. I'm sorry. Numbers is not my thing.
so what I did when I first got my first job was I sold ad space advertising, and it was traditional media as well as I dabbled into digital advertising, and it was more affiliate online email marketing and ad spend on Google Ads and different digital platforms. Then I actually went back into traditional advertising sales, and I worked at Yellow Pages, and I was there for
Yes.
5 years. So,
When I read that, I thought, oh, I haven't seen the yellow pages for absolutely years. Do they even still exist? I don't know.
so 7 years ago, they did still exist. I think they still send it. Maybe it is annually still, but it's thinner than ever because no one's advertising in there.
No.
Um,
Yeah.
but it used to be the go-to place for every single small, medium-sized business owner
Yeah.
to
It did.
advertise and be there. Because everyone had it delivered to their home and it was free. And when
Yes.
someone was ready to buy, they pick up the phone book knowing that it's the most comprehensive, easy, fast, updated directory of every single business owner, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it
And
was. I remember looking through there for plumbers and taxis
exactly.
and anything. I just thought, and obviously the internet wasn't around then, but if I ever needed anything, I would go straight to the yellow pages. And
Exactly.
also the personal one as well, the one I can't remember what that was called, just a telephone directory with people's phone numbers in it. My goodness.
Yeah. It was the white pages, right? And so there were
Yeah.
the two different directories, and that's kind of changed based on the behaviors of you know the transformation of technology, right?
Yeah.
Where not just search engines, but it was more about smart devices, right?
Mm.
Internet speed. Technology has advanced so quickly, so rapidly that now you can find things at your fingertips on a smartphone or device. You
Yeah.
can talk to Google Home or Alexa, and they'll get back to you with information. It's like it's crazy. Where the last 10 or 15 years, we've evolved into human creatures that no longer use traditional media the same
Yeah.
way, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like flyers, newspaper, magazines. When was the last time you picked up a newspaper or a flyer or a magazine?
I can't remember,
Right?
to be honest. Yeah, the newspapers, I mean, I mean, they still sell them, obviously, but I can't remember the last time I actually bought one. Because if I want to find specific news as well, don't I? I don't want just every bit of information that's out there. I just look for something that's relevant to what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and now you're in control when you're searching, or you already have news sites that's predetermined because you know where to find it.
Yeah,
Or if you're looking for anything, you'll just go online and find that specific platform. Amazon's great for products. Facebook's great for connecting friends and family.
mm,
If you want to know some news tidbits, maybe it is Twitter, maybe it is BBC or whatever sites that
yeah,
you want to absorb information from.
mm,
So technology has advanced, and Google is still the most central place where when a customer is ready to buy or they're looking for something, they're gonna and seek out a query, a search term. And
yeah.
as a business owner, you just want to play in the field, be visible, have the opportunity to win over that customer. And if you're not there, your competitors are, and they're winning a lot more deals than you are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you were working for Yellow Pages, so you transitioned from that into SEO, I guess. How did you find it? Because it's a completely different ball game, isn't it? There's no similarities whatsoever.
Yeah. So to be honest, I had no idea what I was doing when I first started in this. As an entrepreneur, business owner, I knew that there was a need. I was meeting with thousands of business owners,
Mhm.
and they were just frustrated. They were spending so much money and they were not getting the same results that they used to. And at that time, it was more about, okay, I know my behaviors have changed. And if I am the norm, which is 60, 70% of the population, well, maybe more people are like me, where I'm gravitating towards these digital search queries, right? Like Google was kind of taking off at that time. And, for me, there's different ways I can search on Google. There's ads at the top, there's the map, and below the map. And me personally, I wasn't clicking on ads, right?
Yeah.
And I was really looking at the map and below, because that's really what myself and majority of the people were probably doing. So if that was the case, business owners that weren't there were missing out on people like me, which are the average consumers, right? So for me, it was more, they express a frustration. And there was a need for me to really fulfill that. And I went out there and filled that gap. I was a salesperson by experience and by trade, but I had to pivot quickly to become a business owner, and I had to figure out how to do SEO. I had to figure out how to hire. I've had to figure out how to price it, and operations and accounting and everything else.
My goodness,
But my expertise was sales, so I was out there selling. I just didn't know what to do after I sold, right? So I had to quickly figure that out. And a lot of hours learning, a lot of pivoting, a lot of mistakes, a lot of hiring, a lot of firing. But it's the part of entrepreneurship, right? Like if you're enjoying the process and you're okay with tough times, because in the end you're doing good, you're helping people get where they want to be because they trust you. They trust your process, right? And they trust that they're in good hands. So, it's all about like building that momentum, building confidence, understanding what you're offering. All that takes time. And I learned that over the last 7 years.
Mm-hmm. So what, I know what SEO is, so the search engine optimization. And like you say, people don't tend to click on ads much anymore because they know that they're advertised, and then there's the map, and then there's the pages below. But it's, how do you get onto that front page? Because I never click on I might go to page 2 if there's nothing interesting there, but I certainly don't go all the way through all the pages on Google. So how do you get onto the first page?
So it's not like a one thing, and it's not a one thing fits all for any campaign. So what I'm going to talk about is, there's over 200 signals where Google is looking at to get a website positioned on the first page. And what I always start off with is, whenever I take on a client, I have to make sure that they already know how to run a business and they already have some good idea of what sets them apart, who their clients are, who their ideal customers are, what's their unique selling proposition, how do they position themselves currently offline, right? So when you gather some information and intel on that, and they already have some happy clients, right, that are paying them. So they already have some established client base, revenue. They know how to take care of their clients and their loyalty behind it, right? They have a website, or they've tried other forms of advertising, AdWords, social, trade shows, magazines, radio. And now it's all about, look, people, they have a lot of expertise. They might be in business for 5-10 years, yet there's some new players on board and they're appearing on Google like really high because they focus their efforts on digital and not focus on traditional advertising. So these people are the ones that I really want to help because they know how to run a business. They just don't know how to become more visible digitally. So that's where the transition and people like myself and my agency can help them elevate their game, because I really want to help those people that are struggling to understand. So first off, it's like creating an awesome website. What does that really mean? Well, representing your traditional business, bricks and mortar storefront to now digital implies everything the same thing. You got to take care of your customers, understanding who they are, creating good content pieces, owning all your asset pieces, and letting not just your users, but Google know what is going on in your business. right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, building an awesome website. Then it's all about the authority, right? It's like positioning yourself as the expert. And that's where it takes a little bit more effort and time, because SEO is more of a long-term play versus a short-term win, which is ads, which is
Yeah.
renting space. Owning space is a little bit different, which is SEO.
Okay.
And to position yourself as an expert, it's all about ensuring that you are now producing good content that's relevant for your audience members. Because in the blog, in all your service pages, in all the new social posts that you put out there, it has to be relevant to the main service or product that you're offering, right?
Yeah.
Because it's giving some substance, it's giving some depth, right, to support what you are doing as a company. And when you start producing that, Google's then going to realize that you kind of know a little bit about what you're talking about, right? And then you have to go out there and let other people know about it too. It's very similar to old school business owners where they didn't have a digital presence. They took care of their clients because of referrals and word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right. So now in the digital world, how do you replicate that? Well, you have to let other people know what you do. You have to reach out to other websites that are relevant in your niche, in your category, and let them know what you offer. And hopefully they back what you do, and you've built a relationship for them to refer you, which is a backlink, right? On
Yeah.
their website back to your website. You're going to own all your asset pieces online, which is you have your main URL. What about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube? What about all the Google My Business, all the Yellow Pages directories, Yelp, all these directories? Go out
Yeah.
there and own your name, right? Your
Why is
brand.
it? Sorry, John. Why is it important to have what you said, a backlink, so between two websites? Why is that important to have people, or even Facebook, driving traffic to your website and not just people putting in your URL?
Because no one knows you, right? Everyone thinks that, wow, you have a great brand name or company name. It's like you build it, they will come. It's not like that. It's the same thing as bricks and mortar. You spend a ton of money, inventory, signage, but you don't spend any money on marketing. Good luck to have anyone come to your store.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So you need to really amp that up and really let people know that, look, they already have an audience on Facebook. You need to, there's millions of people searching or going to Facebook every day. Go own your piece of asset and let other people know about you, right?
Yeah.
Because people, there's billions of people in the world. There's millions of websites that you're competing with as a business owner, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
no
true.
one knows you by nature. Your company name, your brand, you're not even 0.0001% of the market share, right? Because so what you need to figure out is, what are people actually looking for, right? And
Yeah.
how are they consuming it? So think in the mindset of a customer, your loyal customers. How do they navigate? What content pieces are they looking for? How do they search? What's the behavior like? Why do they type in certain keywords? Which sites do they check out, right? You have to just get in the mindset of the customers to start producing good content, producing a good website, getting out there on all these asset pieces, and reaching out for partnerships and relationships on other sites coming back to your website.
Yeah, that's really, yeah, definitely. It's not about what you're selling. It's what it means to the customer, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. A lot of people start writing, producing content based on their experience and what they think everyone should know about them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're a business owner, you think way differently and you use different terminology than customers do, your users, your prospects do. So you need to really understand who they are and start speaking that language on your website.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't, if a plumber came to my house and he showed me all his tools and told me how amazing they were, I wouldn't really care, as long as he could do the job and he delivered what I asked him to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's all about expertise, right? You probably vetted them, you checked out their website, you checked their reviews, you checked, some of their references, and therefore you're ready to pay for their expertise, even though it might be a couple hundred quid, but they are experts. They've been doing it for 20, 30 years. They're in and out in 20, 30 minutes, diagnosing a problem, going in with a
Yeah.
fix, and you don't have to worry about it. But there's also a lot of people that want to do it themselves, right?
There
They
are,
get
that's true,
frust-
yeah.
they get frustrated to pay 200-300 quid for a 30-minute problem. They don't understand the value of time expertise. So they go watch it on YouTube. They figure out that they can buy the product at a home hardware store, and then they try to fix it. They spend 6, 8, 10 hours trying to do it themselves, and then
Yeah.
they're like, yes, I saved some money, but the problem's still existing. Then they go out and reach out to an expert that diagnoses it, fits it, solves the problem really quickly.
Yeah.
There's the difference, right? Like an expert to diagnose a problem versus someone that can try to do it themselves. There's a whole realm of people that you want to target depending on who you want to target,
Yeah.
right? As a business.
I mean, yeah, I mean, in my for my coaching, for example, people can go online and watch videos to help calm their mind and do different things, and they can research lots of things, but it's how long is it going to take them, and how long are they willing to keep living with the same problem that they had before. I mean, you pay, like you say, you pay for the expertise to help people get through things quicker.
Exactly. And I think as humans, as you mature, and you value time more, and I think during this pandemic, more and more people understand that they'd rather invest and spend time, and it's opportunity cost, right? On
Yeah,
doing things that matter in their lives to save them time so that you can spend and devote your time where you feel would be the best use of your time, right? Family, friends, going
exactly.
out there, enjoying life, as opposed to stressing out on things, save a couple dollars here and there. So again, it all depends on where you're at in your financial life or situation, and what you're all about, because every human, you know are, they, they're different. Everyone's different, right? So
Yeah,
you
but
just
yeah, I
have
mean,
to understand that. Yeah.
I think this year especially, people have realised, first of all, they've taken stock of what is important to them, and like you said, spending time with friends and family, they appreciate that more now. So they're going to think more of the, oh, I'm not going to waste my time on things that I'm not good at. I'm going to pay somebody else to do that, and then I can get on with what I want and have a better life work balance, for example.
Exactly. And this is where business owners, everyone's stressed out of their mind as a business owner during today's environment, right? They
Mm.
want some stability. The challenge is it's hard, right? Like you have a lot on your plate to take care of your staff, to take care of rent if you're a storefront,
Yeah,
inventory, procurement, supply chain, and then of course the operations end of thing, manufacturing, production, accounting, bookkeeping, finance. There's so much going on,
for goodness,
right?
yeah.
As
Yeah.
a business owner, this is the life they live, right? And then on top of that, how do you make sure that people know who you are? How do you get out there in front of people so that they can actually find you or want to use you as a product or service, right? So advertising, marketing, or sales is such a big world out there that if you're doing it right and you are positioned well, then you're in a good situation. But 99% of business owners don't think like that, because they're going to rather invest money in signage, great location,
Yeah.
just the traditional bricks and mortar style, right? And then this digital world of younger business owners, they get the digital, but they don't know how to run a good business.
Yeah.
So it's like a fine line, right? Like people that have tons of years of experience running businesses don't have a clue about digital,
No,
right?
well, you can't be good at everything, can you? I mean, you've got your expertise, and you focus on those, and you refine those. You can't be expected to go out and learn everything about marketing as well, and whatever else your business is. You're not your own personal accountant. you don't have time to learn everything and be an expert in everything. So you're going to do things badly, aren't you, to a certain degree?
Exactly. Once you value your time, opportunity cost, if you, and same as an employee, or when you're growing as an entrepreneur or business owner, you're going to hire people when you get to a level where, you know, it makes sense to, because your time is way more than if you were to do the bookkeeping or accounting. Even
Definitely.
though, you know, it's stressful for you, right? Like you dread it every day, or you dread doing sales. Go hire someone, because it's going to free up your time doing something you love doing more, and you're going to earn way more money doing it, right? So all these choices you have to overcome when you're starting a business or being an owner, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I know that. So you do run your own business, so you know what you're talking about as an entrepreneur, and you've also gone into podcasting as well, which you're saying about visibility and getting in front of the right audience. Is that why you started your podcast, do you think?
Yeah, the reason I started my podcast is really to help business owners, because a lot of people, you don't know how they consume content. It could be audio, it could be video, it could be images, it could be written content. So
Yeah,
there's four choices, right? And podcasting during this pandemic has spiked in terms of users, right? Because
yeah,
more people are at home stuck, and they just want something to listen to or watch, right, on YouTube. So it's just another medium, and just like how traditional media has radio, television, newspaper, magazine, trade show, it's another medium, right? People have choices. But if those are in decline, what is increasing? The shift has happened, right?
yeah,
People go to Netflix because they hate having ads pushed at them, right? There's a reason for that, right? So people go to Spotify because they don't, and they pay for a premium edition so the ads don't get pushed at them. People don't like
yeah. It's
ads.
true.
So even on Google, there's a lot of ad blockers, right? People hate ads being pushed at them. They'd rather be in control. So the reason I did podcasts was really to help business owners or entrepreneurs or anyone to really understand the challenges, because me and my VP of sales, we worked at Yellow Pages together. He was there for over 30 years and I was there for a little over 5, but we worked with over 10,000 local business owners
Wow.
from, and that's experience that you cannot just read about or talk about, right? Or listen on or watch the YouTube videos about, right? Like
Yeah,
real
that's
life
true.
business owners, to get real life experience from, right? So that's where we have a lot of insight and knowledge that we want to share to audience members on how to run an effective business. What do we mean by that? How
Yeah,
do they inspire you to really do the right thing, to offer up a really good product or service to compel your audience members, right? So that's the purpose of it, and it's been a lot of fun. And that's another thing, whatever you do, you got to enjoy the process.
definitely. My goodness, yeah.
And if you don't, why even do it? Like running a business, you need to be fully in, right? Passionate, devoted, enjoy the whole process. But
Yeah.
there's going to be challenges throughout that time, for
But they're
sure.
challenges, they're not problems, are they? They're not blocks, they're just things that you overcome, and you work through them, and that's a great sense of achievement as well, isn't it? So
Yeah, and this mindset, right? So it's a lot of
it
people
is.
that
Yeah,
aren't ready to be a business owner.
yeah.
So they think they are. That's their dream and passion, but it's not for everyone, right?
No, it's not, and you don't clock off very often, do you? Because you're always thinking about it.
And it's true. Like I wake up early, I note take, and then I try to be present when I'm at work, and then when I'm at 5 o'clock, I clock off so that I'm present with my family, right? Like you have to know the boundaries. You need to ensure that, and it takes years to develop. It's not. It's like habits, right?
Yeah,
You go to the gym, you go for walks, you go travel. It's like habits. Everything is in life. It's like you need to ensure that you have good habits,
yeah,
especially if it's sustainable in the long term.
yeah. So you've got a young son. How old's your son now?
He's 5.
He's 5, bless him. So it's quite important to spend a lot of time with your wife and your son, isn't it? You've got to have a good work-life balance.
It's extremely important because that's one of my values, right? It's one
Yeah.
of the things that keeps me up and keeps me going every day, right? Without them, I don't know where I would be, right? So
Oh,
that these are things that you need to understand as a pillars in your life, right? What's the most important thing in your life, and how do you set out to embrace it and do more of it, right?
yeah.
Free up more time so you can do things that you actually enjoy doing, right? So every day of my working day to weekends to every day, I have to make the most of it, and I love it, right? Like I'm just happy to be a part of your show. I'm looking forward to helping others all the time, and I just want to help more people, impact more for the betterment of society, right?
Yeah, I think that's the entrepreneur mindset, isn't it? It's not about like before it could have been, oh, my parents had this business, so I'm taking the business over. Entrepreneurs are different. They have a passion, and it's usually to impact people and help people. And they're the ones that want to go out and they find something new, and they find the way that fits with them and makes them and can create the most impact.
Exactly. And these are entrepreneurs, but you have to also have a fine line in finances as well, right? You need to figure out, like, can you do this at this time of my life, right?
Yeah,
If you're leaving a 9 to 5 job with stability, there's no more stability. There's more sacrifice. You need to understand, like, you have to have a strong support system. You have to understand that you can dread ups and downs of
yeah,
finances as well, because that's a part of the world too, right? Like, you have obligations for shelter, food, necessities, and all your other expenses, right? So
yeah.
understanding that realm of things as an entrepreneur is as important as doing the right thing, following your passion project.
Yeah. But I don't. I mean, you say like leaving the 9 to 5, you're leaving stability. I think a lot of people find or have found that the 9 to 5 isn't the stability that it used to be. You're not guaranteed a job for life anymore. It used to be that once you got that job, you probably stayed there for 50 years. But people move around far too much, and businesses come and go, and they make staff redundant, or they downsize, or they do lots of different things. So it's not as secure as it used to be anyway, is it?
And that's why a lot of people are moving to entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
However, it's not for everyone. So I would always advise people, before they get into this journey of entrepreneurship, start with a side hustle, learn about business, learn about what gaps you're missing out on,
yeah,
get some experience working for a trade or an industry that you want to get into. Learn the process, learn what works and what doesn't, unique selling proposition, the services offering, all that plays in the world of entrepreneurship. You need to be skilled at everything, every aspect, from sales, marketing, advertising, operations, manufacturing, distribution, supply chain, bookkeeping.
well,
You need everything to be successful. And success is different for everyone, of course.
yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
But if you want to learn, like, as an entrepreneur or business owner, there's learning will be a lifetime of learning. You'll never be bored.
no, that is true. That is definitely true. So if somebody listening to my show wanted to get in contact with you or learn more about the kind of things that you do at Local SEO, how can they find you, John?
Yeah, so you can check out my website. It's called localseosearch.ca. You can also check out my podcast. It's called Local SEO Today. And there's a lot of information there. We have quite a few episodes on our podcast, and we really just want to help business owners understand that SEO can be the best way to generate inbound leads of quality if partnered with the right company, or if you do it properly.
Yeah,
But there's too many, I would say, fly by night agencies or freelancers or promising the world kind of people out there. You just have to look for real good ones that are raw, authentic, and just transparent across the board. And there's thousands of them out there. You just have to find the ones that are resonating with you and fits your kind of business. So just do your due diligence, whoever you pick, whatever you do, and enjoy the process.
But you work around the globe anyway, so if anyone was listening, they could contact you and work with you. You're not just based in Canada, are you? So
that's correct. I mean, but there's a lot of people that want to support and work with UK. You're in the UK. There's great UK agencies out there.
Yes, yeah, there
right?
are. Yeah.
So I'm all about. It doesn't matter who you pick. Just pick the ones that resonates with you more so, because you want to form a good relationship, because that's what business is about, right? It's not just
so important.
Going out and buying a product that because it's a couple dollars or hundreds of dollars. It's the brand that you want to connect with. What are their values like, and what's their loyalty like, especially if it's like a bigger ticket item, right? It could be a car, it could be anything. There's that loyalty behind it that goes deeper than just the price.
Yeah, I mean, people, especially with entrepreneurs, they choose the person that they have the connection with, that they feel that they like and they can trust, rather than just picking a name out of a hat or whoever's down the high street anymore. So
exactly. Tara.
Great, John. Well, thanks so much for being on my show. I really appreciate it. I'm sure my learners have had a lot of information there about SEO that they probably weren't aware of before. I know I learned quite a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome, Tara.
And I hope you have a great day, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. I'll be back next week bringing more meditation, mindset, and motivation for your happy and successful life. To find out more about our community, go to tarachatzakis.com/happy, inspired, motivated.